Okay.
You ready to go?
You guys ready for Trex? Part 9?
I've been ready since.
Is there a lineup you know more intimately than this one at this point? Welcome to the Ultimate Deck Show, live on YouTube. Not live, but you never know the difference.
I would.
Okay.
I would know the difference.
Okay, so not live. Wade Laurent, Shane Chapman here with you today, and we're going to discuss the 2020 version of the Trex lineup of decking, which looks an awful lot like the 2019 version of the Trex decking.
It's the same.
Same thing. So, but I mean, if you are...
So watch our video from last year.
If you're the New England Patriots, do you change your lineup from year to year? You just finished winning the Super Bowl. You're number one. Do you change anything?
When was the last time they went back to back?
I don't know. I don't watch the NFL too much, but let's go ahead and get to the deck board. So what we're going to do...
I don't think they went back to back, so they should have changed their lineup.
I guess so. But I mean, they've won more Super Bowls than any team should possibly win in the last decade. So
in the last decade. Good work.
Anyway, Trex, number one brand of low maintenance decking. They are the leader in composite decking, leader in many outdoor living categories. But today we're just going to discuss the actual composite decking.
Just the decking.
Now, before we get too far into this, because we've already wasted a minute of people's time, this is a long format show. We have to say this every episode. This is long format. Long. That means if you got places to be, skip to the video that we're going to put right here called the Deck Shop Shorts, and it'll give you the Trex info in 3 minutes instead of the 30 minutes we're about to take from you and your wife right now.
So, wife watches this.
Oh yeah, maybe it's the wife watching it. It should be, because that's who should be making these decisions. Trex has split their lineup into a variety of good, better, or best options within the decking. Now, before we get too far down this path, every time you post something about Trex, somebody inevitably pops in there and says, I had Trex years ago, it was junk.
It was.
There's a big difference between what Trex was in its first generation,
junk,
10 or 15 years ago. A lot of people had some bad experiences with it.
Yeah.
So it did suffer from staining, fading, scaling, cracking.
Call it delaminating.
Drooping. All sorts of issues they had in the first generation. When this when composite was first kind of invented, they thought it was going to be good. The sun, the elements, the water, the mold, even some insect stuff happened, and the boards deteriorated in some cases.
Yep.
Now Trex stepped up and they warrantied all this stuff.
Yes.
And so, you know, I think for the...
They still are.
They still will. Some people still walk in with like 12-year-old decks that have gone, we've seen it a couple times.
Yep.
And Trex is still warranting these people, replacing, giving them a check to buy new decking. And so it still happens. So yes, if you go out there and you Google Trex problems, you're going to find some.
Yep.
Right? But those days are past. And part of the reason why they're past is because now all the good manufacturers cap their core. So the core of a composite deck board has wood and plastic in it. Recycled plastic, wood fiber mixed together. The problem was that wood fiber would get beat up by the sun a little bit and swell because of the moisture, the rain and whatnot, and attract mold growth because the wood was a food source and so on and so forth. So now they cap it with a pure layer of plastic on the top so that it's protected from all those things.
Yep.
And now they also are able to give that stain and fade warranty because of that protective cap as well. So the products we're talking about today are a lot different and a lot better than they used to be.
Yep.
Good, better, best. Let's go with
When did the capping really start?
I want to say like 7 or 8 years ago. It might be closer to 10 now, to be honest. It might be getting up there.
I thought it was 07.
Yeah, it's been a bit now since they started capping the boards. It's been about a decade, give or take, that they've been capping these boards. And so, phone, somebody get that. Just kidding. Let's move on to our first board here. So last year, Trex didn't make any changes this year. Last year, made a lot of changes. And so, what's the matter?
I wonder if we have one of the newer ones. Remember?
Well, that's okay. We can just explain what happened there. So Trex's good line is called the Enhance Basics line. And so this was a new line last year. This did not exist prior to last year. But what they were trying to do was go after the price of treated decking. So for treated decking in Canada, you're about roughly $1 a linear foot for pressure treated 5/4 by 6 deck boards.
Yep.
In the States, it's not much less than that. Sometimes it's more because it seems like treated lumber is a little bit more in the States. So it's probably also $1 a linear foot down in the States, US dollars. The problem was before this stuff came out, your entry-level Trex board was almost about 3.5 to 4 times the cost of pressure treated. So it was quite a big jump in price difference. Yeah.
In the US, it wasn't that big.
Maybe it was a smaller jump in the US, but it was probably still 2.5 to 3 times. Like it was a larger jump.
Yep.
So what their goal was here was to release a board that kind of closed that gap a little bit. And they managed to do that. This stuff here now is only about 2.5 times in Canada, the cost. And so that's only on the deck boards itself. On your framing and your fasteners and your hangers and probably your railing and a variety of other things are all the same across the board. So it's not like the whole deck goes up that much, just the boards themselves.
Correct.
So they released this line and it's been very, very popular. So what you're getting here is a single color, so it's a solid color as you can see here. I'm going to Vanna White this board right here. Got a nice texture to it. Hands, look at the, do you want to look at the board instead?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's got a great embossing to it. It's got a realistic kind of, like, let me push the brakes on that one a little bit. It doesn't look like real wood, but the embossing on this looks much more realistic than the Select line that we'll get to, which used to be the entry-level line. So this has a nicer graining to it. It's a solid color. There's only 3 colors available in this lineup. We'll get to the other 2 shortly. This one's called Saddle. It's a dark brown.
What's this lineup
medium
called?
to dark brown. Enhanced Basics.
Did you say that?
Yeah, were you snoozing?
I must have been.
Yeah. I saw you
Did that
kind
happen?
of looking around aimlessly. I thought maybe.
Yeah, I was looking for a different board.
Yeah. So anyways, this one, the reason it's low cost, so again, in the States, you're probably starting in the ones, like $1.50 to $2 a linear foot probably. And in Canada, you can probably add about $1 to that. It's a solid color. It isn't quite as durable as their high-end line, but it's not bad. Like it will scratch a little bit easier than their high-end stuff, but that's part of what you're getting by buying a board that costs 1/3 of what the high-end boards cost.
Absolutely.
You're giving up some durability.
Yep.
But the main reason why it costs a little bit less is it has this scalloped profile. And so you can see here that there is material removed out of the bottom. Like this is the first generation of Enhanced Basics. Since then, they've actually not cut these scallops in as deep, so you get a little bit more material in them.
Yeah.
For the board, you're going to see this here, but that's how they reduce some of that cost, is to reduce the amount of material that's in it. You'll notice on the back side that the board in the back is not capped. You still have that wood fiber exposed, but because it's on the bottom, it's not getting the sun exposure and the water exposure and whatnot, so not a big deal. You do require some ventilation, 6 inches under your joists, to make sure that area doesn't stay too wet and absorb moisture. But on the top, you're protected with a 25-year fade and stain warranty. So that's fantastic. If you slop some stuff off the barbecue, no big deal. Hold on to that one for 1 second. This one here is called
Beach Dune.
Beach Dune. I wanted to say Treehouse for a minute, but I was like, that's not right. Beach Dune, very same line, little bit of a different color. Looks great with saddle. So if you're looking for a 2-tone brown deck, this one is going to be a nice option for you. Saddle here, Beach Dune here, dark brown, light brown, good combo. That is a budget option with some contrasting colors that could work for you. Now this one here has been a home run for us because our market is very dominated by gray colors. This is called Clamshell. Same embossing, same profile, kind of a medium to dark gray color, which is a little bit unique. Now, if you're researching, make sure that you're looking at the Enhance Basics, because you may come across the odd old website that talks about Enhance and doesn't say Basics, but there is a color called Clamshell in it, and Saddle.
And Beach Dune. It's just rebranded.
And yeah, it's not the same thing. Make sure you're looking at Basics, because they used to have a higher end line called Enhance with these color names that's gone to the wayside. It's discontinued, it's done. So Enhance Basics is what you want to look at. Next up, we have the Enhance Naturals line. So Naturals is the same exact quality of board, same exact profile, same everything, brand new last year, still getting that scalloped look to it. And the only difference is in the Naturals line, they have some variegation to them. Now this sample board that we have here doesn't have nearly as much variegation as the actual full boards do. You can see some streaking running through it. It is more aggressive on a full board. Cut new samples.
We should get a picture of our display deck from the showroom and show what that actually looks like installed.
Maybe we could, yeah.
Because we have it down, and then you could pop it up on the between us.
Oh yeah,
on this side,
back there,
or here. Anyways,
I bet you Bryce could do that.
Because it really shows it.
Yeah, this doesn't show it a bunch, but the samples I've seen have a lot more coloring to them. So, but this is a good color. It's a bluish gray. This is called Foggy Wharf, if I hadn't mentioned already, and I hadn't. It's a great pair with the clamshell we just talked about. So if you're looking to accentuate clamshell with a contrasting border, This is a fantastic duo right here. Now this one's variegated, this one's not, but it still looks pretty good.
Yep.
Those two together. We're going to hang on to clamshell because it's also a great color for the next one.
Hanging out.
Just keeps giving. This one here is called Rocky Harbor. Now this is also a bit of a grayish board, but it's got quite a bit of a tanny pinkiness to it. Beautiful color. This has done very well for us in our market last year.
Yeah.
I think the #1 selling color from Trex for us last year.
Okay.
And I think that this combination is fantastic.
The bee's knees.
With this clamshell, I really like that a lot. It's not that bluish gray, so it's not a cold color. It's a little bit warmer, but this gray just ties in so well. It's like this gray is what's streaking in this, and so it just complements.
Maybe I should tear my deck up at home and do that.
Probably. Yep.
I want to.
I think it's fantastic. That's a good one.
Okay.
So the Enhanced Naturals has 5 colors: Rocky Harbor and Foggy Wharf for the first 2. This one here is called Toasted Sand, and so Toasted Sand is a light brown with some dark streaking to it. Again, these samples don't show the streaking as well as they could. On the actual boards, you do tend to get a little bit more streaking out of that. So that's the Toasted Sand color. This one complements very well with our next board coming up called Coastal Bluff. Coastal Bluff is the dark brown, and actually there's not a whole lot of difference between these two samples here, but on a full board you can really tell the difference in color. So this one here again is the Coastal Bluff in the same line. It's a darker brown. Pairs well with, I hope this comes across in the camera, but I'm not so sure that it's going to.
It should.
That looks okay. Yeah. So those two colors together look fantastic too. Doesn't matter which one you put in the field, which one you use as a border, they go together quite nicely.
Coastal Bluff is a lot like Spiced Rum from their higher end line.
Yeah, if you're looking at Spiced Rum and you love it, but the budget's not there, then Coastal Bluff would be calling your name.
You could do that too, probably.
You could probably do Coastal Bluff.
If you're after a brown tone, if you want to draw
Rocky
brown
Harbor as well. Yeah, that could also work. So another nice combination there. Now we have one more color from the Enhanced Naturals line. Not a big mover here. This will be a big mover in kind of the Northeast and places where these red boards do well, the New England area. Great looking color. We've only ever done this one once, and it was as part of a charity project at a project called Build Love, where the charity builds the community of contractors and suppliers and vendors and everything comes together and donates time, money, all sorts of stuff to basically flip somebody's house, not just a little flip, not just that phone, get that, it just like, they find somebody who's got some sort of disability or a need and their house is not working for them. It's working against them actually.
Yep.
And then they gut the house down to the bones and they rebuild this thing and make it something that helps these people's lives instead of hindering them. So it's a fantastic project. This one was installed on that house. The whole house got a makeover. The outside exterior was black and white, and this red with this bit of black streaking looked sweet on that house.
Sunset Cove.
It was pretty cool. Sunset Cove is the name of that one. I like to throw in the odd loud word because then it makes the editor's job more difficult.
What was that? You did a podcast.
What? No, that, I can't remember what it was, with the bro laws. That was a good one. Yeah, if you listen to podcasts, subscribe to the Ultimate Deck podcast. We do this crap on podcast form too.
Yeah. Just in word form, not picture form.
Yeah,
So fun.
and different content, right? More audible content as opposed to video content. If it wasn't obvious. If I didn't have to.
This is why this is the long format.
Trex Select is what used to be their entry-level board. Mm-hmm. Now they consider it to be a mid-level board. As far as price points go, they consider this a better option. We're going away from that scallop profile. Now we're going to a full thickness board, but the difference, or the way they save a little bit of cost here, is that this thickness of this board is actually only 7/8 of an inch thick, not 1 inch like the other lines of their decking. So that's how they reduce costs there a little bit. It's also, again, solid color, no variegation. So it's, again, a cost reduction measure there as well.
Yep.
These don't look realistic. These are a color play. These colors are unique in a way, but they can really work with people's houses. And so it's, you're not trying to fool anybody with this being. This is not a wood countertop. This is a laminate countertop, but it works with colors of the house. It's that kind of thing. It's not supposed to look real. It's just supposed to complement.
Not a single person would step on a Select deck and think,
is this real wood?
is this real wood?
Yeah.
Nope, it is not.
So it does look plasticky. However, it's a fairly durable finish. The embossing is quite shallow in it. It's all directional. This cathedral style graining all pointing the one way. So you do need to pay attention when you're installing it and either randomize the pattern or not. Just pay attention either way you do it. But 4 colors in this lineup. This used to be a very popular one. This one's called Pebble Gray. And so
It
Pebble
still is
Gray.
pretty popular here. We still do okay.
It is, yeah, it is still a popular board.
Usually the price point on this stuff falls at a similar price point as the Enhanced Naturals.
Should be pretty much bang on, yeah, really close to Enhanced Naturals, yeah.
So then we did see more people moving towards the Enhanced Naturals because at the same price point, why wouldn't you take the variegated board?
To me, it's a lot nicer looking series.
There are some advantages to a solid deck board over the scallop deck board.
Yeah, this stuff probably is a little bit stronger technically. Plus, it's got the Cortex plug, like a better hidden fastener option than the Enhanced Naturals would, because that one doesn't have the same hidden plug fasteners because of those grooves.
Correct.
Not available on that. And sometimes it just plays like the colors just work. Like on your house, for example, you did this, and it's like there's not many other colors that would have worked with your house as well as this one did.
Correct.
Right. So like it's just like not many other people make that bluish gray.
Rocky Harbor didn't exist.
And Rocky Harbor didn't exist. Yeah.
Rocky Harbor is probably a way better match. So I think I should tear it up
There you go.
this summer when I'm doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So these two colors go well together. This is Winchester gray, the dark gray one here. It's very blue. Yep. So I think that'll probably come across in the camera, but in the event that it doesn't, it's a bluish gray.
Correct.
And even the Pebble it's fairly neutral, but it doesn't every gray has either a hint of brown or blue to it. There's no such, it's very rare to have a purely neutral gray. They've all got some sort of undertone to them. These are both leaning blue a little bit, but the Winchester is a lot more blue than the Pebble. But these two go together extremely well. So if you're looking for complementing gray colors, Pebble gray and Winchester gray are going to be your ticket.
Yep.
Next up, we have the brown colors, and so they've also got a brown duo. And so this one here is called Saddle. You heard that correctly. I did not err on the name. There is another Saddle in Trex's lineup. I don't know why. It's
Names
not
are
like
tricky.
it's not like they're so replicable of saddle leather that they couldn't have called it something else.
Right.
Do you want to bring up the other saddle board? Let's see how, or is it buried? You can show people what that looks like. In the meantime, I'll show them the next one here too, which is called Woodland Brown. So these two go together quite well. This Woodland Brown is very dark. It's almost got a bit of a purpley tint to it. But it's a nice deep brown color. As mentioned, Woodland Brown and Saddle go quite nicely together as well. So if you're looking for that complementing contrast, that looks fantastic. Now, as mentioned, 2 saddle colors. They're both called saddle because they're very similar in color. You'll be able to see a small difference, but most of the difference comes in the form of the graining.
Yeah, you can really see the graining there.
Yeah, so in the camera you can see the graining a lot more on this board here. I wonder why that is. It's actually the shallower graining. It's just catching the light a little bit better. Maybe it's because the surface of it is a little bit shinier. I don't know. But anyways, very similar colors. You just got to choose whether you want the scalloped profile or the full thickness profile on that one. And then the graining if you have a preference there. The warranties are the same, exactly the same across all of Trex's lineup. 25.
Amazing.
And if you get it installed by a Trex Pro, which you'll be able to, on Trex.com, if you look in your area, you'll be able to find contractors who have done the required inspections from Trex to become a Trex Pro. If you go with a Trex Pro, I think it's gold or platinum, you get an extended install warranty as well. So not the full 25 years, but you get coverage with a little bit of install warranty. 5?
5, I
feel like they might have
2 and then 5 with steel framing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Did they increase that this year? We might have to have a look into that. But anyways, you get a bit of a labor warranty if you hire a Trex Pro to do it. The final color within the select lineup, I've only got a tiny little sample here. I apologize, but we don't do much this color because it's not actually carried by the distributor in Canada. It's called Madeira. It's a reddish color, reddish brown.
Yeah, similar to sunset.
We don't show it because we don't want people to love it because it's expensive to get because it's not stocked in Canada. Then you have to buy a full lift and get it trucked up here and it ends up just crushing somebody's dreams. So we don't carry full samples of it. So unfortunately all we have is this little guy here to show you. But you can see it's kind of that dark red color. Yeah. It's okay. It'll be for somebody.
It's not for us.
That rounds out the better lineup within Trex. Now Trex's highest end line is called Transcend, and they've got that split into 2 aesthetic categories, one being Transcend Earth Tones, and one being Transcend Tropicals, and Tropicals has the variegation, Earth Tones does not. That's the only difference. Other than that, they are exactly the same quality of board and profile and everything. So we'll start with Earth Tones.
Okay.
First up is a nice dark reddish. This is very similar to Woodland Brown, but it's called Vintage Lantern in the Transcend series. So you can see beautiful rich coloring in that.
If you tilt that a little bit.
I'm going to point this here and show you that this one is a full thickness 1-inch profile. So this is as strong as it gets from Trex. And you want me to tilt that a little bit towards the camera?
Just so they could see the, yeah, there you go.
Oh, if we do it, look at, if we just give a, oh, hey.
Right?
Yeah, oh, all right, let's shoot this a 5th time. We got to do this with all the samples now. You can see the embossing there, beautiful color. Pull that next one up because I think these two go quite well together.
Really?
Somebody's looking, yeah, I think this could be kind of cool. This one's called Gravel Path.
How many coffees have you had?
Only one, but it's one of those new, what are those called, Bryce? A Dalgo, what's
Whipped
it?
coffee.
Dalgone?
It's Dalgone.
Dalgone coffee?
Dalgone coffee.
It's Korean, you wouldn't understand.
Vietnamese.
See,
It's Vietnamese. I read Korean. Here is the Gravel Path. So this is a nice kind of like off gray, I would call it. It's gray, but with a bit of a,
There's some brown in this one.
yeah, like a tanniness or like
Yeah.
almost like coppery greenish, like very subtle in there, but it's primarily gray. But, and so I was just saying, I thought these two could actually go together for somebody. It's not for everybody, but if you're looking for a high contrast and you were in like a coastal region where reds were kind of a thing or whatever, I think the combo could be okay. It wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't do it, but
Good.
I think on a full deck, somebody might. This one is called Fire Pit.
Yep.
And again, just that orangey brownish color. So it's okay again. I don't get overly inspired by this line because they're just solid colors. You're not going to look at them and be like, my goodness, that's beautiful. But the colors are nice, right? It is what it is. It's the same price as the Tropicals line, and I really like the Tropicals line. So.
Yeah. So let's get through this. Then we'll show people
All
what
right,
you care
and
about.
this one's Treehouse, and this is show
Do you want to
Treehouse
show
real
them the
quick.
difference on this? I think that's important because in the.
I didn't want to show them that.
Well, too bad. Now you have to.
Do you have one that's not like that?
Yeah. This lineup. Here you go.
Okay, so another thing you might find along your Trex research through the Google world is the odd person saying like, my Trex deck sings.
Singing deck.
And then you'll see a few people replying to those people like, you're bat crazy.
You can
And
say it, I think.
look into the producer.
Yeah, go for it.
It says I can swear, but I won't. So what was happening, this was very rare, but if your deck was at the right elevation and the wind was coming in at the right angle and all these little circumstances
17.3 miles an hour.
lined up, wind speed, all that stuff, and you were a dog, you could hear this whistling sound. But the wind would come up between the boards, and because it just created that perfect little like round surface, it would go whoo, and it would hum in the wind. And people weren't crazy. It was actually
Sounded
doing
just
this for
like
some
Kenny
people.
Rogers.
Yeah, or something. No.
What?
Anyway, I don't even know what that was supposed to mean or what I'm supposed to say to that. I know that if you guys want to hear some Kenny Rogers, we sung it on the last podcast, episode 72. Actually, you can tune into that. Does this one have it? No, you gave me two of the same ones. Okay, so what they did was it used to have a very round. Is this going to autofocus for me? I don't know that it's doing any autofocusing today. Not going to happen. Give me an autofocus. It's not going to happen. Maybe I can go to this camera here. So you can see that bottom edge here is very rounded, same as the top. So that's what was causing the whistling. And on the new boards, they've corrected that to put that small chamfer on the end. So you can see now on this bottom board here that now there's a sharp angle as opposed to a rounded angle on that. And so that small difference is what's helping them to not have singing decks anymore.
Science.
A little bit of science. Did we talk about this already? Treehouse? We did.
You just said Treehouse.
I just said treehouse.
It's good. There's another beauty.
And rope swing. I like this one. This one's a good
I
color.
do like this one.
I'm not a huge fan of the fire pit and the treehouse, but the gravel path and this one I like.
Yeah, not many people have a color like this. By people, I mean other lines, right? Like.
Yeah. What about vintage lantern with this one? Do you think that would be nice?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we found one we agree on. Let's put that sideways like that.
Fine.
Oh, are you bored of this already? Like, is it too long? check out Deck Shop Shorts, the short version. Let's continue. These two colors I think look great together.
I thought you were asking me. I was like, yeah, I am.
You're bored too.
I am. It's like
you don't have to shoot the Deck Shop Shorts one. You can watch that one too. So these two colors actually look really cool together. Those belong in a golf course. I don't know why. Just a golf course.
I belong at a golf course.
Yeah, good luck this year. That's it for the Trex Transcend line. Now the Trex Tropical line, there was 5, right?
That's what I thought.
5, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Gravel path, rope swing, fire pit, vintage lantern, and treehouse.
Yep.
Transcend is this is the bee's knees, folks. Now the whole Transcend line, like I mentioned, is the same profile, same durability, which is very, very durable. It's very difficult to scratch this stuff. It's not impossible, and nobody in the market warranties scratching. So if you try hard enough, everything scratches. But relative to other brands of decking, Trex Transcend is quite durable.
Yes.
So this is
Here we go.
bulletproof as it gets from Trex.
My favorite.
And the most beautiful stuff. So this has got the variegated streaking. You can see that nice dark aggressive streaking. Some people don't like that. Most people do. This one's called Spice Drum. This is a really, really, really popular color. So it's that nice kind of neutrally brown with some black streaking to it. So it's got lots of character happening in there. Very popular color. This would be one of the top 2 colors I would have to think along with Island Mist. If you're a brown person, not if you're a brown person.
Brown color decking.
If you're a person who likes brown decking.
Yep. But brown person can get it.
I don't think that there's any sort of racial bias towards certain colors. It's just
Producer Bryce is just like, oh
shaking
my
his
God.
head. It's like, how do I
If
you could stop talking so I can cut that part out and patch it together, that'd be great. No, I'm just going to keep talking with no breaks. Here we are with another board called nope, not Vintage Lantern. This is called Lava Rock. So the only real difference between Vintage Lantern and Lava Rock is the streaking for the most part. Both similar colors. Vintage Lantern is probably a little bit more purpley. But Lava Rock's that nice deep reddish brown with some streaking to it. So that's quite a nice looking board there as well.
I'm not really sure what happened here.
On to the next. Hope you're still with us, folks. We're at 27 minutes and told you it's going to be 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
There's Tiki Torch, one of my faves. I love this board. I don't think it's super, super popular because it is a little bit of a polarizing color. It's quite orange and it's got kind of this burgundy, maroon. Hey, when's the last time you heard that color name, maroon?
I hear the band way too often.
5 times you've heard it.
Yep.
So this is a very cool color. When you see it on a full deck, it's quite a striking color. I like it a lot. It pairs really well with the Lava Rock that you just brought back up here. So those two are an obvious choice to combine together. Fantastic looking duo right there. Love it.
Boom.
Love it. If you're looking for a vibrant color, that's what Trex is known for. All their colors are very vibrant. When you put them down beside other brands of decking, these are always more vibrant. The color's richer than a lot of other brands of decking, right?
Truth.
And this is the final one?
No, we have
one more. This is Havana Gold. This, again, is a very cool color when you see it. Probably pairs nicely with like a spiced rum or something like that, but you don't have to. Like, it's got enough character to it on its own. You likely don't have to, but if you wanted to, there's a spiced rum. It would look great. Oh boy, yeah, it does look good together.
I would think that most people probably do Havana Gold just on its own.
Just by itself, hey? It's got enough character to it that it could stand on its own, that's for sure.
I'm wrong all the time. I don't even get worked up about being wrong anymore.
Now, here comes the...
It's probably the #1 board in Trex's entire lineup.
Yeah, and this particular sample doesn't have as much streaking as some, like that Havana Gold really showed the streaking. This one's a little bit of a more subdued piece.
Yeah.
But this is I would say, airs a hair on the blue side of gray.
Yes.
Just very slightly.
Yes.
But some nice dark streaking in it on most areas of the board, just a little bit on this one here. But Island Mist is a crusher. It
certainly is.
It has been copied by just about every other brand of decking out there. Everybody's got an Island Mist imitator because it does so well. So that's fantastic. So that Transcend line, again, is extremely durable. Still has your 25-year fade, stain warranty, and structural.
We did.
So you're taken care of there. We got through this one?
Yeah.
What do you want to do to sabotage it?
I don't know. I hope we can shoot it again someday soon, though.
Well, you might have to wait till 2021 this time.
Okay.
Hopefully they make a change or two.
I think they probably will.
Yeah, maybe.
I like that they left it alone this year.
I do too.
I'll be honest.
And so here's another thing. Not only do they leave the colors alone, but they left the price alone for the most part this year, which is a pleasant surprise because a lot of times you get year over year, you get small price increases from time to time, and Trex this year held still in their lineup.
I wonder
which
if
is kind of
that'll
nice.
remain the same for us with the dollar being so banged up right now?
I would have to think that if the exchange rate continues the way it's been going, that we'll probably see a price increase
North of the border.
at some point.
Like the
in
U.S.
Canada.
might not see a price increase.
U.S. shouldn't. Yeah.
But just coming across the border, we'll likely see something later in the year.
Possibly. Yeah.
Ah.
So that was the entire Trex lineup. Like we mentioned, Trex Enhanced Basics being your lowest budget cost board.
Yep.
Enhanced Naturals if you're still looking to save some money but you want the beautiful coloring.
Streaking, yep.
Trex Select if the colors work for your house and you don't mind that it's
Yep.
not a realistic looking board. Trex Transcend, if it's just like if the color of that
play.
solid color works for your house, then great. But if you want some of that beautiful aggressive coloring in it, then you're going to want to look at the Transcend
Vibrant.
Tropicals line.
Not aggressive. Vibrant.
I mean, the streaking is aggressive. The colors are vibrant. Streaking's aggressive.
I see.
It results in an aggressively vibrant board. Fantastic warranty. Check out Trex.com for all the other information because they do offer a variety of products,
so much
not
stuff.
just decking. They've got aluminum railing and composite railing and outdoor kitchens and rain systems and furniture and
Pergolas.
fire pits and water bowls and pergolas
And kitchens.
and kitchens.
And
I think it
steel
said.
framing.
Steel framing for
Or
decks.
aluminum framing.
Pergolas, if we haven't said that already,
did.
probably
We'll say it
did.
now. And
All of it.
let's
And
not forget about the cornhole boards.
cornhole boards. Yeah, they also have cornhole boards.
What a great time. Have you played that?
You
Have done it?
you know that you've done everything. When you get to cornhole board, it's the last thing on the list of things that you could do. It's like there's nothing else we could do. They've probably got battery operated cars at this point. You probably do that before you do cornhole boards. But anyways, so Trex very
Have you played?
outdoor living. Yeah, of course I've played it.
When? Tell me a
Like
story.
dates?
Yeah, dates. I want a date.
Like camping. We play at camping.
Are you any good at it?
Oh yeah, I crush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played it in
We should shoot a video.
Vegas. So when you go to Las Vegas and you're on your way into
play cornhole?
a Knights game, the Vegas Knights hockey game,
Oh yeah, okay.
they have like a big party set up outside. In
Yes,
front of
yeah.
And so JJ and I played cornhole there.
And did you win?
Kicked her ass.
Good.
She's not very good at it. And I thought she'd be better because she's good at basketball. So I thought she'd understand. But nope.
Turns out underhand is a lot different.
Totally different.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Subscribe to our channel because we're going to put out lots of videos like this, as well as some other cool series. If you want the quick hitter stuff, that's the Deck Shop Shorts, but we have some other stuff in the
Are
works.
you saying that right?
Deck Shop Shorts.
Yeah, that's better.
We got some other stuff on the way. So tune in, subscribe, appreciate it. Watch us on Instagram, on TikTok, on our podcast, on all these other different platforms we
exhausting.
do. Until next time, make peace.
Make peace.
And yeah.